Okay, so it is
August 5th.
August 5th. I'm exhausted today, so bear with me if I start babbling. Babbling shit that doesn't make sense, even though my life doesn't make sense, but out of that scope. Okay, so we're just gonna jump in. What's today? Today's Monday, right?
Yes.
Monday the 5th, August 5th. August Taylor 5th. Okay, so, and not Victoria June. Okay, it's a long story about a porn star, and they're putting little hidden messages. They put me on the very bottom floor bunk. There's like a bunk with 3 levels.
Yeah.
And they intentionally were trying to thug me in jail and intimidate me and move me to different things out of my bunk and all sorts of things. And then, because normally the sheriffs say this is where you. Okay,
right.
So they're doing all these weird intimidation games. And on the bottom, above, they had all this graffiti that was directed at me, and one was things about a porn star, Victoria June, and things like that. And I remember that Victoria Walker,
right, that's what I was thinking.
Michael Vialis, and all sorts of Victors and Victorias throughout my life sent after me. But anyway, okay, so you get the idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so first you asked me last week if I spoke with Seymour, and I think I gave you the printout of the July 10th. Seymour had an oral argument the 11th. July 10th, Judge Sanjay Kumar recuses himself. Oh, did I print it for you? Oh, wait, is this it? Also notice the green and blacks and the camo guy that walked by. Oh, I think I forgot it. I printed out a thing explaining the recusal and how that other people can act, or recusal doesn't necessarily mean, it doesn't mean that you necessarily recuse yourself. It could also mean
Someone did for you?
There's a conflict of interest and they say, you know, you need to step down type of thing. But I can't tell you specifically what happened. I'm not a lawyer, so I research it. Okay, so you can read. This is my text to Seymour. You can read for everyone here, and starting down, this is the printout of what you saw.
Hi, Seymour.
The docket. Sorry.
Can you explain to me what this means is happening? And then, I'm recusing myself from participating in the above captioned case, Judge Sanjay Kumar filed by court on the 10th.
That's the docket paperwork.
Yeah.
And then
you owe a fine. Oh God, not a bee, it was a fly. Sorry. It said, and then Seymour says you owe a fine payment.
Okay, so that's a question
I don't know what that means.
that I asked him like 2 months ago or something. What's this? And he refused to answer, right? But so now finally he answers. When I ask him this question, he answers the last question, and he puts a little space in his sentence too, like.
And then you say it says Judge Sanjay Kumar has been recused. What does this mean, and how does one receive an invoice for this money request? Seymour says court does not invoice ordered at time of sentence. Judge Kumar recused himself because.
Wait, stop. Seymour says that they'll at the time of sentencing, that's when the charges will be imposed. And don't I say something like
how does one receive? I haven't read down.
Okay, so anyways, I proceed to say I've already been sentenced, but okay, so proceed to.
Okay. It says Judge Kumar recused himself because of my help to get him reelected. So he did not want there to be an appearance of impropriety. Okay, but wasn't I already sentenced on summary probation and in appeals while the 1 year of therapy aspect has been fulfilled and publicly proven the judicial system are lying, murdering criminals with witnesses? Seymour says there is still a fine imposed. And then you say true criminals want their blackmail money. So he didn't even answer the question at all.
Well, not as least as possible, right?
Yeah.
But this is my thing right here. He says, Judge Kumar recused himself because of my help to get him reelected.
Right.
Space, comma.
As a
So
judge?
he did not want there to be an appearance of impropriety. I don't exactly know what that means or how it relates to law or
improper appearance.
well, I don't know. I mean, I don't understand how.
I don't know either.
First of all, we have a judge that wants to get reelected.
Right.
The only reason that he could possibly recuse himself is to say, I want to look like a good person and I don't want to be associated with a extermination campaign, right?
Yeah. Or if there's like if they think that he'd be biased in one way or another because Seymour got him reelected. Right?
I don't see. That's why I'm totally confused.
I think that
the other thing my thoughts. Judge Kumar recused himself because of my help. My help. Well, if this is a judge representing an appeals case,
I don't know.
if this is a judge representing an appeals case, and Seymour's saying do this or that or blah, isn't that a conflict of interest? I mean, shouldn't the lawyers kind of be separate from the judge? You know what I'm saying? I'm not in law, but I would think that, hey, I'm buddy-buddy with a lawyer and I don't like Kevin or I like Kevin or whatever. It's no longer a fair trial, right?
That's what
Right? And that's going through my mind. That's the conflict of interest to me is like...
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
And then Seymour sort of mentioning the sentencing over, like, wait, haven't I already been sentenced, you know? Why didn't he word it like, well, after this is over, there's fees, you know what I'm saying?
It's very confusing.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't want to obsess on that too long, but I do, however, want to sort of point out the white GMC here, which is pulled up backwards. And the lady walking by with stripes. And I want to sort of note, let me just... okay, this thing's on lock. I kind of want to note every car that's pulled up this week and last week and for several weeks, this spot over here, they park backwards.
It's not a spot, even.
It's not even a spot. And the last car was a O.J. Simpson Jeep Cherokee.
Really?
Not Jeep Cherokee, Bronco. Which a guy was cruising in the U-turns by my house. When I was taking walks, there was a guy following me. Trying to... And with the prior conversations of people hinting that I think I'm O.J. Simpson and I'm a danger to myself or others and things like that, which switches. Before that it was Mike Tyson, then O.J. Simpson, and 100,000 other things. And so, which reminds me of today's shirt, which Brittany has seen before. I'm a violent, paranoid schizo because my mom says so. And notice we're having groupings of green and blacks. Okay, the reason I obviously made this shirt, just like the Tom Farley shirt from last week, how Tom Farley states when we were about 8 years old, making up lies that I saw an alien in his bathroom and things like that to try to make it look like I say crazy things.
Right.
When he said it, not me. And
did they just leave and I missed it?
Yeah, that guy left. And then we have two similar cars, white cars over there that just pulled up. Okay, so just like Tom Farley making up those lies, now we're jumping to my mother's lies that I'm a violent, paranoid schizo and seeing all these things that aren't here and this and that and these things. They've been spewing that my whole life, but then I turned 29 and I found out all these things are going on directed at me after the lies are made up.
Right.
Right? Okay, so...
I'm sorry. Can I ask a quick
Sure.
question or should I wait?
No, you go ahead.
Did your mom ever... She'd never, like, outwardly said that, or did
No,
she?
nothing's ever said to me on any level.
Okay.
Actually, Tom Farley did tell me that I said to him, people are all stupid, And I said, Tom, I never said that. I said, maybe I said people are like sheep, but I never said people are all stupid. But even if I did, that wouldn't warrant a worldwide murder operation. How dare you? Okay, so, but once again, you could see how these lies are being fabricated and put in the central database and distributed out to the world, right? Okay, so, and since it's 5 years old, and so you can apply that to everything. All the people that have come in my life crying wolf over and over. He raped me, he hit me, he
None of which is true.
He pooped in my mouth and suffocated me. I don't know, you know? I'm sure there's a whole 100 billion of these out to the world secretly.
All untrue.
I'm a crazy man who thinks I'm in the army. I've raped women. I'm a car thief. I'm a thief. I'm a pedophile. I'm into kitty porn. Thousands and thousands, all out to the world in secret.
All false.
All false.
Yeah.
Just complete fiction by like creative writers, people paid off to write fiction. Okay. So now, let's see. What did I print out? I printed out a couple things before we get to the dialogues. Okay, the first, actually, accidentally printed out 2 different sizes, but here you can have one. Okay, so what did I put? Oh, this one's cut off. What could justify a decision to hunt down and kill a 5-year-old?
Nothing.
That is the question, and the reason I printed out just some random kid off Google or whatever, typed in 5-year-old on Google, the reason I visually did this is because we had a conversation. Also, notice the stripers starting to show up, just like the umbrella we talked about. Okay, how could... Sorry, I'm tired. How could... Okay, the reason I printed this out is to give you a visual. This is who's being... Like, this is me at 5. Obviously not literally me. This is a 5-year-old that would be hunted for throwing some mud in the street. Okay, now the question that you first asked is, well, Kevin, you know, did you intentionally throw mud at a car? Are you a good or bad person? Blah, blah, blah.
Who, me?
Yeah, I mean, you weren't that direct, but you asked some questions. And the point I'm making is, what if this kid intentionally threw some mud at some car?
Big deal.
Correct. I mean,
It happens.
would this justify...
No. Absolutely not.
Exactly, right? And so, I mean, look at that put him. But, I mean, but you know, aside from the jokes, nothing could justify. And the reason I bring this up is because I got people running around, just like after you left last week, a guy came by. I don't know if you saw the video. I was sitting at the cigar shop, guy drives by, kids drive by, about 21 years old, and rolls down the window in like a black Sentra or something, and he just starts staring at me.
Really?
And I go, you know, like, peace.
Yeah.
And then he yells at me, something like, I don't want to talk to you, fuck you. What? And then they roll, and then I have the cameras videoing, but it's not pointing directly at him, it's pointing kind of as they drive by, and then he's right here and the camera's pointing here, and then I kind of in front of him turn the camera like that to get his face on video.
Yeah.
And that's kind of at the beginning intro of last week's segment at the cigar shop. And I have a shorter version by itself just explaining that the police's argument is that I'm imagining the whole thing.
Right.
But here I am in Thousand Oaks at a random cigar shop trying to relax, and a guy's driving by with the thousands of people per hour, but this is a more direct and obvious one. A guy that broke from the passive aggressive, like the groups of people walking in green and blacks, like we're seeing a few of them now, where the car's backwards.
He yelled at you. You didn't even say anything to him.
Correct, and that's the point, is that all of these attacks from 5 years old to now, whether they're super passive aggressive or subliminal to obvious, literally 100,000 to 1 million per day at this point, starting at 29, are all me not knowing any of these people, and then watching worldwide groups just take turns on me, kind of like the scene in The Matrix, the second Matrix, I think it is, where Agent Smith keeps multiplying larger and larger, and you're just like, I can't believe I'm seeing this, because it's not a movie.
Right.
And no one will admit to the situation, and each person's trying to cover it up with the police and government, but it's not about anything. And then you have people like Seymour Amster saying, Kevin, don't lash out at people. Did I miss something? If I'm sitting there and 100,000 to 1 million strangers per day are attacking me,
you're not the one.
Right?
After them at all.
Yeah.
I've seen the videos. I've been around with you. Like, you don't do that.
Yeah. And so every situation is the same. It's, we're going to attack you, and if you say anything, more larger and larger groups show up attacking me in anger and rage.
And
then
you can't defend yourself.
What?
And
you can't defend yourself, like my father Mike Huntley said, and the scariest part is that all the lawyers and police and everyone else are trying to cover this up by saying Kevin's a crazy person, he needs to be watched and followed, and then...
Here's the thing, even if you were a crazy person, it doesn't matter. You know, like, you're not hurting people, like, you
Correct, and they always leave out the actual situations. It's all, everything they do is based on labels.
Right.
And also notice more horizontal stripers. Oh, and that's what I was about to say. This is important because this has been going on since '94. Right after I printed out this shirt, girls started posting bikinis, like bikinis and modeling pictures of horizontals, trying to match the colors. So the point is that whatever I do on my computer, they're trying to use to create mental illness, just as if I pull over to a gas station and buy a Snickers, people will come online going, I love to eat Snickers. And this type of thing happening all day and night 24/7 since me finding out. Me finding out at 29, but it actually was going on since 94, around 21 or some 22 or 3 or something. Okay, so that's important. Okay, so now let's see, what should I do first here? This is important.
Yeah, what is that?
Okay. This is, while I have a car parked in front of my house for months now with a no plate that says Universal on it, hinting about Universal Studios, all the things Brian Longbottom was hiring me, jobs to do at Universal Studios while trying to make me look crazy and mentally ill. Example, Kevin, I want, okay, more horizontal striped shirts over there. Example, Kevin, I want you to work on this show called Hollyweird, a pilot called Hollyweird, and then at the same, right before that, having a porn star, Hollywood, come in to Yankee Doodle's pool hall with a guy and sort of snicker and belittle me while she walks by laughing to try to trigger me. Right. And then I want you to work on Hollyweird. I mentioned the Alexis Amore things about sharking and me playing pool and with Brian Longbottom and Tim Thompson with the box covers of Alexis Amore. Then Brian Longbottom, guess what was the other pilot? Spy Game. How do you say, interesting or appropriate to the situation? Hey, the guy just wants me to work on a pilot called Spy Game.
Right.
And then he's telling everyone, he's telling me stop doing what I'm doing, but he can't tell me what specifically I'm doing like everyone else.
Right.
Then they're trying to make it look like I conform to media, right? Because all these people are playing their worldwide spy games on me.
Okay.
Then he's wanting me to work on Spy Game. Then Universal Studios is hunting me down with him with billions of dollars. Did I miss something? All I fucking did was want to come out of college and make some money and do something with my life. Did I totally miss something here? Yeah. Okay, so then after that, Brian Longbottom wants me to do a favor for him and his friend that supposedly owns Sharky's Vacuums on the front of Universal Studios lot where they set up a booth and do a commercial or infomercial, and Brian Longbottom tells me the guy wants me to take photos of what they're doing to document his commercial being made.
Yeah.
And then what happens is Brian Longbottom is telling everyone that I'm trying to shark or sabotage the commercial. right?
That's ridiculous.
Then I believe Brian Longbottom's probably running around saying I'm crazy, and I, just like Lorena Escobar, somehow I'm trying to take over their company, Golden State Sports Medical. When she hired me,
right,
is the same thing Brian Longbottom was doing. They asked me to do a job. I do a job, whether it's a favor or it's paid, and then I'm hunted. And I think what Brian Longbottom was trying to do was stage it so it looks like I'm out in the front of Universal Studios by the Globe, where tourists are walking, and I'm a tourist with a camera trying to provoke the Sharkies infomercial booth, right? And then they're telling everyone, he's telling everyone these lies as a setup and a frame job. And then he's telling everyone Kevin's crazy. He never worked here. I mean, we all saw him. We all saw him with a camera in front doing this thing to the Sharkies booth. Also hinting about having Alexis Amore go to Sharkies restaurant to try to set me up and make it look like I'm stalking her. And
it's ridiculous.
Trying to hint that it's about me sharking people playing pool and things like that because I was a pool player, right?
Right.
Okay, and after me telling people what sharking is and how moronic and childish it is, or whatever. Okay, so anyways, I found this a couple weeks ago on a cork board in my house. Yeah, you know, like the...
Oh, cork.
Cork.
Okay, I think
like,
cork.
No,
like,
cork. Like you pin things on it. And I hadn't looked at this. It's been above my computer for like...
years.
15 years or something, and I haven't looked at it. It's got all this ancient paper, things I pinned to it that might inspire me, or things that I started working on, which totally sucked. But either way, but most importantly, this was on it. And what this is, hold on, is a Universal Studios badge for the backlot. Okay? Now, Brian Longbottom, while I have no direct statement, it's obvious that Brian Longbottom is running around with these worldwide groups saying I'm a fraud.
There's proof.
He's probably saying that I never worked at Universal Studios. I'm trying to get in by abusing these people and doing this and that. Whatever they can say to rile up a worldwide murder operation. The point is that if I did not work at Universal Studios and I'm a fraud, then why do I have a backlot badge? Expires 3/31/1998. That's about right, around when I moved back.
Yeah. What, 20 years? No.
What is that, 98?
Yeah.
21 years ago or something. So still, after 21 years, the guy did worldwide murder operations, but whatever. But the point is that the argument here that I'm a crazy person and I think I work for Golden State Sports Medical trying to take it over, or I think I did jobs at Universal Studios and I really don't know anything about 3D graphics or visual effects or this or that. I am holding direct proof and evidence with employee emergency line numbers, you name it, an actual backlot badge.
Yeah.
Brian Longbottom or nobody else now can say you did not work on these pilots and this and that and blah 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 and you're crazy.
Right.
Brian Longbottom hired me, the guy doing these things to try to cover it all up, who actually used to live out here on Flaming Star Road off like Avenue de la Flores or whatever, off Lynn Road.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Interesting that he chose Flaming Star. Okay, so especially with me being kicked out of all Starbucks for some reason, or coffee shops in general, but they really focus on Starbucks using the name Starbucks with literals. Okay, now another thing I found on the corkboard, you will find this interesting, and you're also going to probably ask me, well, who is the mole or information disseminator, right? Okay, the first thing is this. Now it's interesting that the police and government and coffee shop people don't want me at coffee shops, is the first thing.
Right.
It says, what does it say? What do you want the internet to be? Okay, with a guy holding coffee shop, a stack of coffee cups, Now, I couldn't figure out in 2002, around 30 years old, why I was being hunted for going to coffee shops. Interesting, isn't that?
Weird.
Now, there's another caveat. Back for the last 20 years or so, 15 years, people would always type capital U's directed at me. Capital U's. Y-O-U, capital. Why do people keep typing capital U's directed at Kevin Perlman? I couldn't figure it out.
No.
For like 20 years on the internet. What the hell's going on? And remember, that's just one of these thousands of tactics.
Right. Why do...
Right here. We have people that don't want me at coffee shops so bad that there's a worldwide campaign to kill me. But really it's everywhere, not just coffee shops. But they really emphasize the coffee shops.
And you like coffee shops.
And everyone on the internet is typing capital U's. And I couldn't figure out where that's coming from. This was on a cork board above my computer. Okay? With some of my CG art, crappy CG art, older crappy CG, whatever. Okay.
How long ago is this?
This has been up there easily since 2002.
Okay.
Easily. And now we're going to go to the roots. There are only two people that could have seen this. Jeff Siegel.
Who's that?
My first roommate. And it was a friend from college. Okay. Jeff Siegel, met him at University of Colorado, fellow pool player, never super close with the guy. Moves down, supposedly his sister lives in LA. I graduate, we all go, or I move back, whatever. I start my company with Mike Huntley. Jeff Siegel calls me up. I was never really that close with him, so I was surprised to hear from him. I moved out here, my sister's out here, I need a place. Do you want to help me drive back to Dallas and pick up my things? And I kind of rent out one of my rooms to him.
Okay, that was nice.
Never was really close with him or anything, and he was into game development for a company or whatever. But
in the apartment you're in now?
Yeah, in my townhouse.
Oh, your townhouse, yeah.
And when the shit hits the fan went around when I was 29, I was like kind of trying to figure out the audio surveillance leaks, what the hell was going on, how people were getting information from inside my house. And he came home and he saw me sort of checking through the vents.
Yeah.
And he was laughing like it's funny.
It's not funny.
Right?
Right.
And so I kicked him out.
What did you say to him?
Well, I couldn't... What do you say to someone in that situation? You can't really...
Why are you laughing at me? I don't know.
No, I didn't, because I didn't understand what was going on.
Right.
But I knew that his behavior...
was not okay.
Correct. It's like someone just flips out and freaks out and they're screaming. I wasn't screaming or anything, but let's say someone you know is flipped out, they're freaking out or whatever, and you're like, ha ha ha, the person's like,
that's me.
You know, okay, get this fucker away from me, because he seems to be involved, right?
How did you kick him out?
What do you mean?
Or what'd you say to him? Was it
I just said, you know what, I said it's not working out, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Right then or later?
Maybe a couple days later.
Okay.
I just knew. I knew that all this shit was going on. Mike Huntley's telling me we're using the system against you. You're a dead man, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He's singing World of Paranoia. We got a roommate. And he's not, what's the word I'm looking for? Jesus. He doesn't have any empathy.
He lacks empathy.
About the situation. It's like if you're on this, someone just ran over your legs with a car and you're laughing at them, right?
Making fun of it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you know, get the fuck away from me, right? You think this is a joke? Get the fuck away. But I didn't say it because I couldn't
verbalize it.
Well, no, I couldn't verbalize because I couldn't understand the situation. I just knew enough that my life's being threatened in an indirect way, but you don't understand because even if someone says crazy shit like, example, Mike Huntley dropping papers about South Korea controlling people with mental illness, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a death threat or not, or you might look at someone like, that's really fucking weird.
Exactly.
But when you're walking around every city in the world and people are whistling at you, connecting the dots, you still can't really say anything because you look crazy, right?
Right.
Okay, so
where do you go? What do you say?
You know you can't say anything to them because they're going to use it against you.
Right.
So you just say, look, you know, it's not working out, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, it's just
fine,
it's good
whatever.
that you was
You
he
know?
mad when you said that or no?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't really mad. He just, and I didn't just throw him out or anything. I gave him time to pack up. And I did the same thing with Tom Farley, the second person involved that wanted to be in my house to prove that I'm up to something
He lived with you
highly
too?
illegal. Yeah, Tom
Okay.
Farley, who supposedly was involved in 2 hit and runs and a speed junkie and an alcoholic and was supposedly arrested. I have a feeling the entire situation was fake. And then he magically develops vertigo and takes the vertigo pills my dad
Right.
gives him, right? Yeah, whatever, bullshit. Okay, so, and he's supposedly deaf in one ear after my brother as a child kept flicking me in the back of the ear and then having me watch flicks to try to send me hidden messages, right? You see the connected events?
Yeah.
And, oh, by the way, after the shirt, last week, wearing the shirt with Tom Farley's name on it, the neighbors, oh, that's Allied Universal. I've gotten tons of threats from Allied Universal stating that I'm not allowed to take pictures on private property and that's a crime, and them following me all across California and things like that. That's Allied Universal, just note that. And also, when you texted me, he
Today?
instantly came over to you.
Really?
Yeah, because I have him on video up there coming over to
I
you
didn't
right when
know
you
that.
texted me. Yeah. Just note that that's Allied Universal. They're involved in these murder operations and they're desperately trying to cover it up. They have aided and abetted murder operations, attempted murder, and they're desperately trying to cover it up. So just
Is that who you saw in Woodland Hills too?
which.
Allied Universal?
Yeah, all over.
Okay.
And different private properties, they follow me, like trying to silence me, right? They make up lies. It's illegal to take pictures on private property. It's not illegal. And then
What private property? Like, is this
different
private?
ones. Encino on Havenhurst.
How's that private property?
This one they've never said it. Well, this is private property. It's owned by a person.
That's weird because it's public for everyone to go to.
Well, correct. I mean, but these people all pay leases to a person off the public boulevard, and so it's privately owned.
Okay.
But it's not illegal to take pictures on private property.
No, people that everybody be in jail.
Maybe you could actually say, I don't want you on my property with a camera, and you have the right to say that, just as you have the right to say, I don't want you on my property because you're black. Do you understand?
They have a right to say that?
Yeah, it's private property. Hey, you're not allowed in my house. Black people aren't allowed in my house. Jewish people aren't allowed in my house.
I didn't.
You can't come in my house because you have a camera. It's private property. But, there's a big but. By making that at a public location, even though it's private property,
That's weird.
you're making a statement.
Right.
You're discriminating. I don't want Kevin here because he's Jewish. Sure, you have the right to refuse service, but you're a racist and a bigot, and now people are going to hear about it. Okay, so more horizontal stripes.
Oh, yeah.
So we're all coming back to the same thing we kind of mentioned last week with the discrimination, or your kind, and your kind needs to die. Right?
What does that even mean, your kind? You know?
It's just a you're different label.
Someone not like me.
Yeah. Okay, so what they do, which you've seen on video, is they don't directly say we don't want you here.
No.
Because they know that I'll Yelp it. These people don't go here. They're racists. So what they try to do is provoke me into the reactions, like 100,000 people coming with horizontal shirts and getting that information after I surf the web and print out a picture like this, right?
Yeah.
Okay? Now, if they can get a reaction, we don't want you here because
of this reaction.
you hit someone, or you did this, or you did that.
So trying to make a reason.
Yeah, make a reason. Okay, so Jeff Siegel, heavily involved.
Okay.
Fellow pool player from Colorado. Never really super close with the guy.
That's crazy. And you tried to help him out.
I tried to help him out. Tom Farley at this point was maybe 6 years later or something, and he obviously had a strategic angle to get in my house to try to scare me into a confession. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, I just want to state this. Lorena Escobar, Kevin, it's what you're doing in your house.
How do you know what I'm doing in my house?
Correct. They're tracking everything I surf on the web. They're doing this. They're trying to twist and contort each thing. They're having person after person try to set me up or frame me. Lorena Escobar running around making these statements showing, we had a conversation last week about Lorena paying people to hack their own systems and do freaky things. You get the idea coming from my father.
How is that not an invasion of your space?
That's the point. It's a violation and invasion of my privacy.
It is.
And more important, it's highly illegal.
Right.
So any of the fiction that they write up, Kevin stalking women off the internet and this and that,
you never and would never.
it's inadmissible in court because there's privacy laws, and there's privacy laws to protect people from exactly what's being done to me. People doing half-truths and creating
How did they get the information?
fiction.
Yeah, like you can't use it if you got it like through illegal means.
Yeah, example, I can probably explain this on one of the earlier videos. In our office, I was testing some insert queries in my SQL database, and I was typing in random names. Fred, Joe, Bill, Ivan, Bob, Al Bundy, Ted Bundy, Shane, Javier, whatever. And then they latch on to Ted Bundy and they go, Kevin's crazy and he's a serial killer. Well, what about the entire picture?
Right. The context.
I listed off, let's say, 100 test insert queries, but you're only concerned with one random name.
Right. They like wait for that one.
Correct. So they're nitpicking the one thing to take out of context and go, look what he did. See, I have it here. Yeah. I told you so, right? It's like, okay, so this guy just parked a black Charger here backwards. Just to, okay, so you get the idea of the types of things. Now Tom Farley coming in, trying to own me and control me and working with the police and making up his newer and newer lies and getting confessions and hinting that I'm stalking women and things like this.
Right.
Well, didn't Tom Farley go to UOP Stockton or something like that to college? Interesting, while he's contacting people on the internet, hunting me down all the way in Colorado.
Right.
Okay, you get the idea. Tom Farley was sent after me from 8 years old or earlier to hunt me down and exterminate me. So now you understand why Tom Farley wanted to be in my house like Jeff Siegel. But more importantly, you have a witness in my house. Does that make sense? The Lorena Escobar, the police, my father, and the government are all claiming that I've done all these highly illegal, insane things in my house. And they want search warrants, and they're trying to plant drugs in my house. Had Rody Morales try to plant trash bags full of marijuana in my house to make it look like I'm a drug dealer.
Right. That's
trying to plant guns, doing all sorts of freaky things. And you've seen 4 videos of the police and one with my father trying to break in my house and plant things in my house.
I know.
Okay, well, if they had a witness like Tom Farley or Jeff Siegel in my house, why didn't they arrest me?
Right, because you're not doing anything wrong.
Correct. If I was committing a crime and Tom Farley knew of it, why didn't you just go to the police and they arrest me and then they pull out the proof and evidence and blah, 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 just like those other dialogues we had about me supposedly killing someone.
Ridiculous.
There's no body.
No.
There's no crime scene.
You know why? Because you did not commit the crime.
Correct. So they just want me to say I killed someone to justify my demise. Right? And then when they can't get that one, it jumps to the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. Okay. So these were my friends and family, and okay, so that was that. Now we're back to the questions. And I added a few at the top like usual. And I'm just going to try to go high speed on the top ones because they're continuations of last week. My so-called brilliance seems like trying to make me look like I suffer from delusions of grandeur. I'm not trying to drill you or anything, but
no, it's okay.
I've heard this thing a lot, like how I'm so smart and I'm brilliant and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you I'm just a complete moronic nub of
you're
idiocy or anything, but I think we need to keep life and things in perspective, and for me to say that I'm like the end-all be-all of brilliance like Einstein.
Yeah, no, I understand what I'm saying. Like, you're smart. Like, I mean,
I don't really think I am that
smart. You have a hard time giving yourself a compliment.
I just like to keep things realistic, you know?
What if that is realistic? Like, I'd mean it when I say that you're smart, like you're intelligent, you know?
Compared to what?
No comparison, just as a human. I don't know. It's hard for me to like. I'm sorry.
I'm not trying to be like a buzzkill here.
No,
I'm just
it's
trying to
okay.
say that.
Well, let's. Okay. You
I
have a
just
lot
don't
of
think.
knowledge?
I don't
Is
think
that
I'm
better?
stupid. I think I'm average.
Okay.
I mean, I have a college degree and I have a high school degree, and I'm a C student tops. But I can remember a lot of my classes,
You can build cars. You can do all these like really cool like computer animation things that like.
But I think those are things that anyone can do.
I can't.
Okay, like, and that's what. But you can. That's the point.
I don't know.
No,
I'm really not
let's
good with those
let's
things.
say it how it is.
It might be harder for me
You
to do it.
can. You just
Haven't.
don't know how, or
Okay.
you're not used to the surroundings. Which doesn't mean you can't.
Okay. That
Okay.
makes sense.
And that was actually what I was kind of writing down.
Oh, okay.
Which was, let's see.
That makes sense.
So okay, so you and I've heard this not just from you, from other people, like jealous people in my father's office. Okay.
Did you ever believe what they were saying?
No, because the way they were wording it. Let me see.
Okay.
Also talk about my amazing talent and the reality of how we all are amazed about things we don't know. Okay, that's important. We're amazed about
That
things we
makes
don't know
sense.
about, but in those worlds, they're no big deal.
That makes
Okay.
sense how you worded that. Yeah.
Okay, so let me explain. I didn't really get to explain it. I sort of, okay, notice the two green and blacks together, the mother and daughter, matching clothing, green and black. Okay, so this was last week, and I wanted to continue it.
Okay.
Okay, so you said, like, I don't remember your exact words, and I mentioned something about tightrope walking. A family, if you go up to a family of tightrope walkers, the entire family knows how to tightrope
That's
walk.
what they do. Yeah.
But that was a little too aggressive, I think. My point I want to make is, I had people in my father's office that just sat there doing data entry on the CalMed systems over and over all day in repetition like
Right.
robots. Okay? Now, there's nothing that says that those people can't go out to the bookstore, buy the Microsoft MCSE Book of IT Networking, learn Windows Server and Active Directory, take the MCSE
Correct.
test,
Yeah.
and get a fucking job doing IT.
You're right.
Nothing says that those people cannot do that.
You're right. about
Maybe
that.
in their minds,
They can't.
they don't know where to start.
Or they-
Maybe they grew up serving drinks at a coffee shop and they're lucky to get a job in my dad's moronic
And they don't
criminal
realize
office.
that that's an option for them.
Correct.
Okay.
But now to say Kevin's like Einstein coming up with the theories of relativity that no one can do,
Right.
wrong. Every motherfucker is doing Windows networking and .NET programming and HTML. And if you take me, and this was the point I'm making, if you take me out of the Golden State Sports Medical criminal morons and you put me in the mainstream community with all the other programmers or IT people,
Okay.
I'm
In your
probably
field.
below average. Does that make
Really?
sense? Yeah.
Okay.
So
See, I don't realize that.
yeah.
Okay.
So my point is that you have to keep things
in perspective.
in perspective with the situation and not apply apple to orange
That makes sense. 'Cause
comparisons.
it's not my world, I guess. Like
Yeah.
the IT world and
Yeah,
stuff.
like let's say I can't do psychology, so I think that you're a god in psychology,
Right.
but you're
What is
surrounded
that?
with Nobel Prize winners and whatever, right? It's
right.
like
I get what you're saying. Like it's different. Like our what is this? Skills are in different areas.
they're totally different things.
Okay, that
right?
makes sense when you say that.
So maybe someone's amazed. Oh my God, how do you create
That
that
was like
CG
me, like, I'm
art
in
and
awe.
this and that? And then I look at my CG art and it goes, it's shit. Look at that, guys. Look at these 100,000 of people.
Right.
Right?
I get what you're saying.
And then
Okay.
if I go into a job doing CG art, I have to compete not with you,
Right,
with
everyone
those
else.
people. So now my perspective
I
isn't
get it.
I'm the best, I'm elite. My perspective is I'm just another
Like, I'm
marble in the
alright.
container of marbles.
Okay.
And somehow you gotta, if you want to get to the top of those marbles, or better yet, if you just want to get a job with those marbles, you gotta work your ass off
Okay.
to get to a level where they're gonna hire you.
That makes over another marble.
Correct.
Okay.
And it's not about being the best or being better. It's about making survival or making
Right.
money or having a skill. Because there's always someone
It's a
better.
skill.
There's always
Yeah,
gonna be
that's
people that are
true.
better.
Yeah. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
When you put it like that and explain it like
Yeah.
that, I understand what you're saying.
And then it goes down to the people in my father's office playing this jealousy game, like, oh,
Right.
well, you're this and you're that, and so now we have a license to kill you.
Because we're jealous?
Correct, pretending that it's
Stupid.
about Arnold Schwarzenegger's biography or something where he's sabotaging the other.
Oh my god.
Right, it's like...
Okay, I understand. So is this...
They're not normal situations. I mean, they
Right.
are in movies.
But not in real life?
Yeah, I mean, they're very rare in real life.
So you said, seems like trying to maybe look like I suffer from delusions of grandeur? Like
Yeah.
you see, like bigger
Because I'm sitting there with these people in my office and they're telling me these crazy things like what we're talking about and how you're trying to pump me up like I'm a god or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like you're looking at these people like, what the fuck? And they're angry and they're mad.
Oh,
like,
so it's not like genuine?
yeah, and you're just watching lie after lie and there's anger and rage and I'm somehow wronging them. Meetings in Seymour's office with Deborah
Bear?
Bear, yeah, who's a scam and a fraud. And
That wasn't right that they did
and
that.
Seymour's asking me questions. This was the first meeting before that one that you heard. And she's asking, Seymour says like, well, you're brilliant. And you have you're a brilliant memory and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a genius. And like, if I'm a genius, why is this happening? If I'm a genius, why won't you tell me why I'm a genius?
Right.
And then he says, well, what do you think of Elon Musk? And I'm like, I don't know. And I didn't really answer it correctly because I wasn't prepared, but I didn't answer it negatively,
What
but
did
I
you
just
say?
said, I don't know.
Yeah.
But now that I thought it through, the correct answer for me is I never met the guy. I don't think anything. I think he just came up with some
Good idea?
brilliant ideas, but I don't like him. I don't hate him. I don't know him.
Do you need that?
I don't like him. I don't hate him. I don't know him. And I don't care. I like his cars.
That's a fair statement too. That's an honest statement.
Yeah.
You don't know him as an individual at all.
Correct. I just know he's a guy that came up with some innovative ideas and he's making shitloads of money and I can
Yeah.
guarantee that his life is nothing like mine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I know. And
You don't make assumptions.
correct.
Yeah.
And then Seymour's point he was making was that, and I can't remember the exact words, was that because I'm so brilliant, everyone hates me.
That's what, like they envy you, like they're jealous.
Yeah,
and
but
they're
envy me in a negative way, not the
No,
normal.
Right.
And I'm just going to state this
jealousy,
because
right.
of the whole Alexis Amore scam where I said I envied her.
Oh, I didn't know you said that.
I said on the net that I envied her.
Mm-hmm.
And people are running around like it's a bad thing. Like,
not a bad thing.
you have jealousy and you're an obsessed murderer. Well, that's not what when people say I envy someone,
Like I wish I had that life or something.
something to that. I wish I had that life, I wish I had that talent, it doesn't mean you're
Trying to hurt them.
obsessed or hate or,
No,
it's
not at
a
all.
phrase people use, right?
Absolutely.
And that's the point, is they're collecting and twisting and contorting. Okay, so back to your statement. Seymour's statement was like, oh well, this guy's a genius, so everyone hates him and they're pissed off.
Yeah.
Like Mark Zuckerberg's a genius, so I hate that guy and he needs to die.
Right.
Well, I guarantee you that.
Like I want what that's mine. I
Correct.
deserve that
90% of the world doesn't think like that. They think like, that guy's brilliant, good for him.
Right.
Right? Because if that was the case, Einstein would be like, I came up with a theory of relativity. No, we're going to stone you to death.
And take it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? So the things they're saying don't make sense, and that office conversation to me was like, I'm trying to make you look like a crazy man who thinks he's special,
Okay.
like above everything. Delusions of grandeur.
Right.
And then we're going to throw some psychological evaluations after we give you the disinformation, like
That's
everything
terrible,
else.
Because, yeah.
And then remember that in the end, Deborah Bear with Seymour trying to force me into mental institutions.
Have you heard from her again at all?
I just cut her off, and it was a
Okay.
surprise attack.
Yeah, I would be very unhappy about that.
Yeah, it was completely unethical.
They can't like
Unethical.
do
You
that
could see how they were
without
working
letting you know.
together.
Right.
There's no reason they would want that, unless to cover it
I
up.
don't get it. And, yeah.
They tried to get me to walk in front of a judge and say it, under my own will. Make me look crazy.
I know, but
You walk
I
into a
mean,
courtroom, I want to be thrown into a mental institution. This guy's crazy.
well,
Why?
and you said it's implying guilt when you haven't done anything too, right? It's implying that you are wrong.
Correct. It's like, or just make me look crazy.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to get out of it. Remember what Deborah Bear's conversation was that they can throw you in jail up to 7 years for a probation violation. So if you want to get out of this, tell them you want to check into a mental institution, making me look like a criminal.
Right, exactly. If you want to get out of it, that's like guilt already.
Yeah.
So I would have been really livid if I would have left it there, because it's so unethical and illegal, and it's like behind everybody's back.
Yeah.
Breaking all these rules.
And she states, I've read the
I've seen the videos and all this.
The appeals paper. I haven't even seen the appeals paperwork. But this random psychologist.
They're not part of a treatment team together, are they? Seymour and
her?
A
what?
Treatment team.
What do you mean?
Well, I guess it's different, but I've worked like in treatment centers or whatever with other people where the whole treatment team is privy to the information. That's the only way I could.
But he's a lawyer.
I know. That's why I'm asking if you had like any of the paperwork or anything saying they work together.
No.
Okay, then that's totally fucked.
They played this game. They throw me in jail, and she's like supposed to be my savior. And they had a guy.
No,
they had a guy when they threw me in the hole. They had a Jewish guy with an LA hat. And by the way, this is the whole thing. I wrote all this down, and there's an LA sign pointing out the window, and the guy, Jewish rabbi, comes with an LA hat. Yeah, and I'm matching the graffiti and the paperwork the inmates are giving me to all these scams, and Seymour's getting all the information for what's going on inside. That's one of the reasons he said I'm brilliant in my memory, because they were collecting everything that was happening inside the jail.
Right.
Even to the point that as I was leaving, I took a milk carton, put it on my bed and wrapped it in a sheet, trying to hint about blowing your load. Like a milk carton's a penis. Okay, so.
Thank you. I got that.
Okay, so anyways, the rabbi comes up, and the entire jail people are going crazy because they're all told to try to break me and get reactions and get this.
Right.
Okay, so while I was in the hole, the rabbi comes up and he says, well, you know, if you confess to what you did, your evil ways, then you can go into the Jewish dorm or something like this.
But you didn't do anything.
And I'm looking at my little cellmate in the hole going, this guy's a piece of shit. You know, he's full of shit. He's trying to get a fake confession.
Right.
Right?
What did your cellmate think? Same thing?
Oh, he knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
Supposedly some drug dealer named Josh from Lancaster that ironically was the same name as one of the last pool players that was hustling, and Josh, who drove a Trans Am just like me when I drove an 85 Trans Am. Whatever, things that go back to Yankee Doodles and 2000 and let's say 6 or 7, who knows. Okay, so the point is that was a whole scam operation. So then you get out, and she's going to kind of represent and write letters that you're seeking therapy through our organization, the Jewish Aleph organization, which keeps people out of jail. Well, I never heard of a fucking Jewish organization that keeps people out of fucking jail. What the fuck? And so what do? You go in jail cells and try to get people to confess to fake crimes, and then say you'll be there for them when you brainwash them or something? I mean,
how did she become a part of your case at all? Like, how did that organization even find you?
Through my mother
parents?
and Arnold, my stepfather, who fly out to Israel through their little Jewish organization bullshit, trying to pose as good Jewish people when they're not. Right?
This is so confusing. You're an adult. You know what I mean? So
Correct.
it's like they can't know anything about you legally without your consent and permission.
Correct. So even if she's representing me as a therapist, why is she hanging out with Seymour concocting all these freaky things?
Right. Then she's going to that. No, it rubs me so
all these things are kind of like, hey, we got a judge working with Seymour to get reelected. It's getting off the case. We have meetings with people that are reading the appeals information that shouldn't have any
no access.
Correct. And then she's working with people in my community, trying to provoke me and set me up and make it look like I'm full of anger and rage.
Yeah.
They're all scams to brainwash me, become like some kind of devout Jew. And she even had some statements about how I was anti-Semitic.
Are you kidding me?
No. So where do you think this is all coming from? My family and their weird, freaky reverse psychology. All these things are the same. You're a criminal, so we have probation, so you better not go to any public places because someone can call the cops. You're a... What it was... Sorry, I'm tired.
It's okay.
What did I just say? Anti-Semitic. So something's wrong with you, so now we're going to force you into Judaism. All these things are about control and forcing and brainwashing and manipulation based on severe fear and torture. Does that make sense? I'm going to torture you into finding God.
Until you submit.
Correct.
It's ridiculous.
So you find your evil ways or whatever. That's not a true Jew.
No.
Okay, that's a Nazi posing as a Jew.
Right.
Okay.
Being forced into doing something.
Yeah. A true Jew would say, believe what you want, and even if you don't believe, even if you're agnostic, God will be on your side.
Right.
That's what a true Jew would say.
Right.
Not you do this or else.
Or, yeah. Because then that's like coercion.
It is coercion.
Yeah.
All these things are the same. Coercing me into false confessions, you name it, based on torture, more horizontal stripes. Okay, so
against your will, yeah.
you asked about trust. Could you trust? And my response to you last week was, I basically said I can't trust.
Makes sense.
You asked about trust. Could you trust liars in a worldwide kill operation to have you killed, saying they don't know you or the situation in which you witnessed at every location in the world, and by, let's say, 80% of the people out there know me?
Right. No. I
No.
wouldn't be able to trust anyone.
I walk up to this counter right now. What's your name? Well, you know my name. So now, even if you're the hottest girl known to man and ask me for my number,
I don't trust you. Instantly.
correct, the trust is still already broken.
Right.
And unless I'm gonna say, come over, we'll fuck, and I'm done with you,
But then that
and
would
go
turn
from
into
girl to
some-
girl like that.
But it would probably, like, from the history, it would turn into something there too, right?
Correct, because most of these situations end up how I've abused them or did it. Right? It's like,
That's so unfair, though. Because
correct.
It's like you can't build these relationships with anybody because you don't trust fucking anybody, understandably
because
so.
relationships are based on trust and
Trust.
communication.
Absolutely.
Okay?
And
if
caring
those are
about
broken
others'
from the first
well-being.
minute, I know you, but I don't know you.
Oh,
Okay, well, what
instantly.
statement does that say? If I walk in there, I don't know you, but I like you.
Right.
But I know you know me.
You don't
Eventually that has
trust
to come out.
them. Yeah.
Because it's not going to go past a couple of dates
No.
if you're sitting there lying to my face. And then they get worse, how they're trying to control you with these mass groups. Also notice the news hat dude over here,
Oh, yeah.
in case we see groups of them. Oh, by the way, there were huge groups showing up, escalating
After
with
last
umbrellas.
night?
After
Oh, really?
I mentioned, yeah, in my
In the
local area.
valley? Yeah.
And in Sherman Oaks, I got several
That's
pictures.
crazy.
But yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, so that's the trust thing. It has nothing to do with my personality. It's a situation
Right.
that's been created for me.
And that nobody would be able to trust people in.
Correct.
It's really shitty because, like, as human beings, we thrive on that, like, you know, connection with other people.
Correct. There's always some kind of connection, even if it's a
But like that,
not much of anything.
but like
Even if I
trust.
walk into a stupid store and I'm not friends and I go, hi, thank you, whatever, bye.
Yeah,
At least it's a positive,
interaction.
there's nothing there between us interaction versus cryptic terror messages, and then you're imagining it,
Right.
right?
But yeah, absolutely. But I mean, like the deeper, like how you thought all your friendships were before you found out different.
Yeah, and then you start to see like the Gregoires and the Brian Weavers, how they were never my friends. I mean, they were my frenemies,
Right.
and I would rather of them have them
Right.
throwing rocks at me in high school than befriending me and trying to set me up.
Then
Over
you're
and over.
totally blindsided.
Yeah.
I'm
And
so
remember, all the
sorry.
things that happened they were behind your back. They were never direct, right?
I'm sorry, because that's horrible, and you deserve better than that. It's not fucking
think
fair. You
anyone
would
does.
never do that to anybody.
I wouldn't, even if I
Never.
wanted to, I wouldn't have had the resources.
You never would even had that thought. Okay, let me. befriend
No, I
them
didn't,
and, like,
because
torture them
because
forever.
I think like the average person, it's if I have something to gain or benefit, I become your friend
Yeah.
mutually, obviously.
Most people gain something
Hey,
out of
I give you my friendship, and in return, you give me yours, and we both get something out of it, just like
it.
dating.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, isn't it interesting that every female or person I meet is all about trying to take as much as they can and tell me that they own me? Every single one ever.
That's not okay.
It's strange.
It's not. Yeah.
Right?
It's strange. It's not right.
I want to be with you so you can buy me these things or this or that.
So you can
And
fix
sometimes
it.
this does happen. I'm not going to... Every single person had some kind of I want something, an angle.
Other than just to be around you.
Correct. They never wanted me as a friend. Right?
There was always some. I'm sorry.
And most of them just wanted to bury me, which goes beyond that, right?
Like an ulterior motive.
Yeah, like Greg my brother goes after him with the crowbar, I stop, and it turns out he was working with my brother to try to prove that I'm a violent paranoid schizo.
Right. Trying to prove something that's not true.
Correct. So that's my friendship. I've just defined. They're not mad. Greg's not mad at my brother. He's mad at me for stopping the crowbar and saving him, which shows.
Doesn't make sense.
Which is the same mathematical equation from all my friends, like Brian Weaver, that they're mad at me
for doing the right thing,
and then getting smarter and smarter about it as I got older. And at 29, saying I feel like I'm a rat in the cage, and Brian Weaver coming after me, saying with all my friends, trying to silence me, saying it's a public shaming, taking all the things they did to me and turning around and saying I did all these things.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, and it goes worldwide.
It's a public shaming. So, like, you can't go anywhere.
You can't go anywhere worldwide, and it's all defamation and slander, but nobody wants to be honest about the situation. And even people here have threatened my life all the way out here at the Starbucks in Thousand Oaks, based on things I grew up in Calabasas.
No one's even giving you, like, a chance to get to know you, is what it sounds like.
Correct, and
like,
that's...
really get to know you.
Remember we talk about poisoning the well?
Yeah.
My family poisoning the well from a young childhood?
Yeah.
Well, that's it, and normally when we talk about poisoning the well, it's not worldwide, secret networks.
It's like...
Right? Maybe your mother says something to your girlfriend and she screws everything up.
Right, but not this broad.
But there's never been any situation where someone has access to all the resources on the internet on a hourly basis, blasting out lie after lie. Oh, hey, I went to a Starbucks. Kevin raped a girl at a Starbucks. And it goes out instantly to the world. And then you go to a Coffee Bean. Kevin's watching porn in Coffee Beans. And it goes out to the world. And then Kevin goes to a Pete's. Kevin's going after Persians in Pete's. And it goes out to the world. And just hourly, thing after thing after thing, all to the world over. And police officers are following you. And no one can put the common sense together. Bullshit.
Right. Right.
They're all involved.
And all lies. It's all like these horrendous lies.
Yeah.
I don't. You would think that somebody would be like, okay, let me get to know this guy Kevin first before I believe all this bullshit.
Correct. That's how someone. Listen, that dude over there. I don't know him. I don't trust him. I don't like him. I don't hate him.
Right.
If he comes up and talks to me, I'm not gonna chop his head off. I'm just gonna.
No, you don't know.
I might wonder, who are you, and that's it. And it goes from there, and you build.
Yeah.
Outward based on your experiences with the person, and to go out like the movie Amazon on the Moon with the girl that says I need 2 forms of ID, and she has paperwork printed out about every sentence and parking spot the guy's ever said, is the type of shit that's being done to me. And they're putting 1972 at 1 year old with 1985, and there's
all jumbled and
creating this just complete fictional obsession of fantasy based on things that don't exist. But the question is, nobody's asking why this is all being data mined and collected and spewed out there.
Right. Or not even like curious about, okay, is this all true? Like, could this possibly really actually be true? Or like trying to
even if it's true or not.
I would want it.
If someone walked up to me and said, I have a 40-year archive of this person on everything he's ever said, every parking spot, I'd be like, you're fucking insane. Get the fuck away. Yeah.
I'd be like, this is not normal. Like that, you're a stalker.
Correct. Whether it was true or not, I'd be like, this guy's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, that's not okay at all.
And that's the point. That nobody can see through that. Something's wrong. Something doesn't make sense.
Right.
Right.
Good God.
Okay, so that's where we come back to the government flagging and kill operations or extermination operations. Because it can't be about anything that they try to make it look like, or...
No. Nothing. No, there's nothing.
It's just about inflicting pain until something bad happens.
That makes me really sad, because it's like you're like this... Okay, you were born, you didn't have to be born, right? And then you're this innocent little boy, you're just doing things, whatever, kids do things, they fuck around, not intentionally to hurt anybody, and then they just base their judgment and want to hurt you based on
what? Well, some do and some don't, but the average don't.
Right, but your family and stuff,
you know? Their thought in their mind is always negative.
But like...
And then they go off the deep end.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's weird.
I don't get why they would ever do that. It just, you know, it just, I can't fathom it. Yeah.
It's strange.
It's hurtful.
But then
it's
it's my brother that's going out actually committing all the crimes. They're like, he's the best kid.
You're like, what the fuck?
And I know that my mom knows about
what he's done.
A lot of his shit, because she used to talk about how he got caught putting all the weapons in the back of his car, and the cops pulled him over. They weren't real weapons; they were like baseball bats and crowbars.
But still, those can be weapons for sure.
So she knows who he is, and she doesn't care. But then the good kids like
being hurt.
Yeah, and they're just like, it's for you. What, become a murderer? You know, I mean, I don't understand.
No.
And how much is enough, right?
Right. Why would I'm so sorry, Kevin. Like, how do you want to see your own child suffer like that?
They don't seem to be upset about the situation. It's just scarier than shit when you.
It is, and it's fucking hurtful. I'd be really hurt.
Would you want to be around parents that
No.
that probably got their jollies, like my father sitting in the office, watching you be tortured and killed, and really bad things happen to you, and then say, "I want you to have a normal life." No. But we want you in a mental institution?
No, I would not want to be around them. At the same time, I'd want to know, why the fuck do you hate me so much?
Exactly.
What did I fucking do to you?
And then you try to get away from it. It just continues at every place worldwide. And then they make up lies how you're obsessed because you can't let it go or whatever, right?
I would never be able to let it go. It's doesn't make sense. My own parents, what did I do? You didn't do anything.
And it's not stopping, though, as well, right?
Exactly.
So you're watching literally a worldwide secret war, information war, to torture and kill you. And everyone around you, you're imagining it, or, you're too sensitive, and they're lying, and then you're watching them take part,
right,
as they're saying you're imagining it,
and
you're just like, I can't believe I'm seeing this.
Right. How could you?
Yeah.
You're saying that until that's what you said. It took you years to realize. For me too, I would not want to believe it.
Yeah. It's so strange. It's just.
And
it's unheard of.
It is. Yeah.
The methods are unheard of, but they're all based on psychological warfare.
Right. Based on.
Well, we got a family with all the psychology degrees.
But there's no reason. You know what I mean? There's no reason that would ever make it okay.
I think a better way to word it.
No.
We all know there's crazy people out there. We know there's crazy families out there.
No justification? Is that better?
No. Well, there isn't. What's irking to me?
Yeah.
First, there's no reason why anyone, especially my family, would do this, especially to me, which is irking. But even more irking than that, because normally you go, my family's fucked up, I'm just going to get away from them. Right. More irking than that is watching all of these people worldwide. That's the fucking... What's the word? The
clusterfuck? The mind fuck?
The skull fuck. Just like the police threatened with Skylar, they're gonna skull fuck me to death. It wasn't said that way.
There's no accountability.
They're really just Twilight Zone. Okay, if you're with a boyfriend or your father, let's say your father just starts beating you and you go, my father's an abusive piece of shit. It's not. It could fuck you up, but.
It's not like everyone.
But you can get away from it and go, that guy's fucking nuts, and it's kind of.
It's not like everyone I walk past after that is going to start.
Correct, and so you kind of distance yourself and you go, and you're going to have baggage from it, and that's enough to deal with. But you're away from it.
It doesn't.
As opposed to
an escape
my situation, it's just each new stranger takes over, like those Agent Smiths in The Matrix 2 or whatever. Right. And you can't believe you're seeing it, and you can't get away from it, and it never stops until you're dead. And this isn't a movie, this is real life. Right. And it's unheard of. It is unheard of. How do you get these people, for example, right now, how do you get all these people to show up in horizontal striped shirts?
I don't know.
Or park backwards like all these cars, or people park in that spot right there backwards over and over, trying to send me messages while they park there in case I drive by. And this happens, this is worldwide.
Do you ever get sad about it, or have you ever? Oh
yeah, but
I'm just wondering.
It's past that. It's like it's not sad. It's like Twilight Zone. It's unheard of. It's horrific. That's why when it first happens, you're in denial for years because you can't believe this thing is happening that no one's ever heard of, and everyone's involved, right? And they're government operations, and no one's saying anything. And it doesn't even make sense, because I talk to people all over the planet, and even if there were to be some kind of gag order, that would only apply in the U.S.
Right.
So if I talk to someone in India, they're going to say, look, there's this website and database.
I don't even think
But they
about
won't,
that.
right? No one will come forward. They believe
That's so
the
weird.
propaganda and they're angry and rages. Whatever they're being told. Okay?
Yeah. It's 4 o'clock, but do you want us to finish up somehow?
Can we go through a few questions? We really haven't.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know we got
Because
off
you were
topic.
late. You're like,
I'm late as shit.
Yeah.
That's why
Come
I
on.
was trying to make
give
up
me
for
some
it.
time here.
I know, I have to run a group in a little bit.
Oh,
But
really?
okay, yeah.
Okay. You have witnessed and we have talked about I am a million
Percent.
I am a million% in self-control, yet the world has been told thousands of lies about me having no self-control. Don't you find that strange? Just like we were kind of talking about
Absolutely.
before.
Absolutely, I do.
Especially with the lies the government, my father are saying, things I've done to women, which are obviously cover-up operations, to making it look justified to have me killed. Don't you think it's strange that things that never even really happened with women over 30 years ago,
Right.
I'm just being hunted for now, right?
Right.
So some weird accusation, fictional accusation, 30 years ago, people now are running around going,
Right, it's
you
like-
did this 30 years ago, like,
It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
If it was true, then you would think it'd be addressed then. And
yeah,
no. It's fucked up. It doesn't make any sense.
yeah.
To answer your question.
It's like,
Because you are. The self-control that you have is insane.
yeah,
Truly.
and it's,
Not, I mean,
I've been built that way, like some kind of government weapon or something, because like I'm just watching this thing
I know.
that is completely unheard of. Okay, so we talked about this a little last week, half-truths. This is very important.
Okay.
This is my life. Exactly. Went out on a date with a girl. I raped her and tried to kill her.
What the fuck?
Okay, each thing goes from here to there. Do you understand what I'm saying?
From truth to insanity
Correct.
in one.
Example, all that happened is I went out on a date. Like Corey Bixby, all I did was drive her home.
Right.
Maybe I farted wrong, maybe I yawned on the date, maybe
Yeah.
I scratched my ear, I don't know. And that goes like you raped and killed her.
No, they take
Right.
it. No, this
Okay,
is completely false.
went to coffee shops. So I went to coffee shops, wouldn't leave, oh, wait.
Oh, you wouldn't
This
leave
is my,
female
okay, this is the
employees
half
alone.
truth. Went to coffee shops.
That's the truth.
So I went to coffee shops, wouldn't leave female employees alone, and masturbated in the bathrooms. All that happened is I went to coffee shops.
Right.
Um,
They take it to this next level.
took a long crap on a double date with Tom Farley. So according to Tom Farley, I masturbated in the bathroom. That's where the whole masturbating thing
Seriously?
starts, on a double date with a girl named Maria.
So the real thing
Well,
is that
he was
you just
out with
have to take
Adriana.
shit. That's all.
That's it. I took a
don't.
constipated shit and my life's over. Okay, half truths.
I'm sorry for laughing.
I know. I mean, it would be funny
If it
wasn't a worldwide campaign, and that's why the absurdity. It's like watching one of those comical movies, but it's not a movie. It's
Right.
like
And it's like, who cares that much if you took a dump?
correct. I mean, are you timing every time I go into a bathroom or every parking spot I recording every
Right.
parking? Yes, they are. That's the point.
And it's like, why? You know, it's ridiculous.
Because they wanted torture.
I know.
Um, go to strip clubs. So hunting and stalking strippers and porn stars.
Yeah, no.
Okay, once again, the half truths. What really happened? Kevin went to strip clubs.
Right,
Okay.
like half the freaking population.
Build cars at 16 at Calabasas. Showing backwards and crazy.
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Maybe a little, but
Well, you're building
not
cars. What's
maybe
wrong
a
with
little
that?
backwards-ish, but
How is it
with
backwards, though?
because rich boys want their prepaid BMWs versus
Well, sorry, you wanted to learn yourself.
correct. So
yourself.
maybe I don't want to say that's backwards. That's different.
Different.
Take walks. So I'm supposedly like Tyler Durden trying to provoke people into fights. What's happening? I'm
You're taking a walk.
walks.
You're doing a good thing.
Okay, right? Okay, so now you can apply this to every situation in my life,
Yeah.
going from this way to the extreme that way.
Right.
Every
Just
single
like-
thing, just like my family with, what's her name?
That
Deborah
chick?
Bear saying
Oh.
I'm anti-Semitic and I'm a troubled kid and
That's
this and
fucking
that.
ridiculous.
Right, I'm acting out in anger and rage. Well, they're just
I think
creating fiction.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. How does each thing go from here to there? Impossible. I just wrote that. Okay, so when they thugged me out of the office to try to stop me from getting work done, then I was followed by worldwide groups working with them from coffee shops or from home or in anger attacking me. Then years after, fired, still following me in mass groups, thinking back to them showing that after they got what they wanted, that me no longer working there, they are still hunting me. Why? We sort of addressed this. And I just state to have me killed, because if their motive is, hey, I want to get rid of you, why do they keep coming after me long?
Once you're gone, yeah.
Right? And more importantly, my point was, okay, they kept terrorizing me in the office, so then I start getting work done at my house or at coffee shops, logging into the office and getting work done.
Then they got pissed about that.
They would get pissed. Now, I'm not near them, but every time I came in the office, it'd be some lie like, Kevin's armpit smell, and Kevin smells and he can't be here.
And who gives a shit about anything like that?
And they're just nitpicking each thing and calling my father, and he's like, well, this person says you smell. And I was like,
who cares?
enough's the fuck enough. And then they worked this thing after throwing into maximum security that it's my armpits and showing the connected event. Oh, they were playing this game in Maxim's Pitches Wayside, where the inmates were told to say that I smell as my armpits, just like Shanna Bryan Seva at The Office, and Fernanda Simi. So you can see the connected events, right? Okay. Now, how are they associated with gang hardcore gang members?
You wouldn't think they would
be,
be,
because they're paying off people like Sean. My father's paying off people like Sean Dincy, you know.
Right.
Okay. But my point was that the further I get away, they're still not happy.
Right.
Because what are they really mad at? I have a heart rate. My heart's still pumping and right. Okay.
Do you want? Is it? What's?
We're starting.
Can I,
yeah.
Sorry.
406.
Okay.
You gotta go.
Yes.
Okay, so let me just kind of. We're getting to the.
We talked about this a little, yeah.
We did.
Not much.
And we'll finish up with Brandon here.
Okay.
A couple of things. I'm gonna mention Brandon. First, I want to state, because I forgot, that after last week at Old Oak Cigar, wearing the Tom Farley shirt.
Yeah, the alien one.
Everyone in Woodland Hills got really mad about the shirt. And so they're throwing shirts all over.
Are you?
No. Okay, so coming out of my house in my complex, there was one gold shirt on the ground, and somewhere else there's a red and black shirt. And then this morning, coming out to my car, my Eclipse, on the fire hydrant next to my Eclipse, where my brother and his friends supposedly launched a VW on a fire hydrant and are pinning on me to the world. A guy put a shirt about football over the fire hydrant by my car, and one of the lies is I supposedly hate football and I hate football players, and I supposedly hate Damon Riggins, the black football player that used to kind of race around with me in his Camaro, trying to make it look racial and make me look like a white supremacist. I don't even know how you go from here to there.
I don't either.
And when I was about to leave in my Eclipse, something I believe is jammed in the wheel where it's going thud, thud, thud.
No.
And they did this last month, parked in the same spot, and whatever it was kind of came out. But this time,
what is it?
I don't know, because it's wedged.
You can't see it.
Either some linkage broke, which I don't think is the case, or something's wedged in there. And they used to do it with Greg Koenig putting water bottles in the brake calipers and things like that.
But it's not a flat tire.
No, it's, and when you go faster, the thud goes away, showing that if it's bad linkage, it's probably going to rattle worse. Yeah. Okay, so let me just, so my point was that they're angry that I'm wearing shirts with counter arguments to the lies, and that's the retaliation I get from a joking shirt that says Tom Farley's a liar, but Tom Farley can spend all day and night blasting lie after lie worldwide. He hasn't done anything wrong. So let me just read the Brandon, because Brandon's pretty important towards the end. The black X-ray tech. Black employee X-ray tech told to stalk me and work with the black community, black employees, and all coffee shops to hunt me while provoking me endlessly in anger. So he was working with the black community at Barclays Coffee in Northridge, where I would, after leaving Golden State Sports Medical closes, I go and relax and get some coffee on the way to get home. black people would follow me there, or black employees would work on me with Brandon from my father's office. Black employees from Coffee Bean and Gateway Plaza, Topanga Shopping Center, and Victory and Canoga. There's a Starbucks there, where Shannon O'Brien Seva actually followed me there, which I didn't talk to her, let her know I was there because she's a psycho. A lot of other places, but I wanted to give you some specifics.
Yeah.
Okay, so and I'm finishing up with Brandon, I think. My father, in the end, trying to turn it around on me, saying he's claiming he's being discriminated against. And then it goes to Adriana Olivares, and there's a lot more in all these people. But, okay, so once again, we're not getting to the Golden State sports, but you have some insight.
Right? Yeah.
Because I always have some things to add at the top, but
that's
okay, so I think today's conversations were very important.
me too. Thank you for doing that.
Okay, so just a quick ending note. We have our Universal Studios backlot pass to work on the backlot. This isn't some kind of VIP ride the rides thing. This is a employee badge where you go in through the back gate to go into your office in employee parking, showing that Brian Longbotham, who moved out here while supposedly suing Modern Video Film for breach of contract, which is probably all a lie and a scam, on Flaming Star Road, what he was involved in, and the things that try to cover up, making me look crazy, and that I'm a crazy man who never worked at these places, and things like this.
Right.
Okay.
Just lies.
Yeah. And so we'll end it here. Till next time. Stop being late. And that's it. Anything you want to add? Say?
No, that's it.
Okay, that's it. We're headed out to Thousand Oaks to meet with Brittany. Just videoing. So when I walk out to my car, we get whatever happens on video. Probably hidden messages, types of things left for me. And of course a car backwards here. So I'm leaving, parking a car backwards so I can see it. You'll notice that everything's pretty much forwards. But by the gate where I walk by here, in my complex, right? So they're leaving little hidden messages here because they know I walk out of my car here, right? Okay, you'll notice the grouping of vans. Also, this lady hanging a U-turn behind me. Someone's put a shirt here. Let's see what it says. Football. Right, and they, on some of the other day videos, there were shirts. They were leaving shirts all over the complex for me to see. G-Light, football, whatever. So, they're mad because they're working all these weird football, how I hate football and football players, and football players need to die, and this and that and the other thing, right? Okay, so I think this is the same girl that just hung a U-turn here. Okay, so we're gonna fire up the car. We're just someone just pulled there, a black Toyota, and then they hung a U-turn right here as I was walking across the street. I think it might be that same lady. So I'm just kind of documenting it. Someone looks like they're at the end of the cul-de-sac, kind of waiting with their lights on. Might be something, might not. That shirt's definitely intentional, just like the Target thing, Target bag, and the car backwards. We got into our car because, or I wouldn't even be out here because it's street cleaning on this side of the street today. There's someone walking this way. Looks like they might be walking a dog, so make sure we point the camera that direction. Crossing over here, and usually there's groups of dog walkers that follow me out. So, okay.
Black view for your safe driving.
Okay, now she's going into my place, so you know it's one of the people. You know who? They're obviously. It's, how do you say it? She's obviously with the group of people that are in my complex doing these things. So, okay, so I'm about to leave. Remember, they usually have groupings of cars come out when I walk out to my car. White guy at the end of the cul-de-sac, he's not leaving. It looks like he's in a Camaro, black and white Camaro. Now they use Camaros and Damon Reagan's. No, he's not in a Camaro. He's in a Charger or something. Dodge Charger or something.
Daytona Charger. Yeah, Dodge Charger. Oh, and look at that. He just happens to be timed with a second black and white Dodge Charger. I mean, what are the chances, right? Are they even going the same way? No. Well, I can't tell. Right, so you get the idea. Now he was waiting down. They're also, look at the lady in black and white, right? So she's wearing black and white like the cars. And you saw that the Charger was waiting at the end of the cul-de-sac down there, timing it, right? He's timing, when's this other guy gonna come by? When can I meet up with him? That type of thing, right? Now we have the girl that's been here since I walked out of my house, sporting around her dog, wearing black and white clothing. You know, they're all sort of coordinating these things together like usual, right? So anyway, so I told you when I started pointing the camera, I walked out that that car may or may not be, because he looked a little suspicious at the very end, kind of waiting with the lights on for no reason, right? And he was timing it to meet up with the other guy, but the question is, how did they know when I was gonna walk out of my house? That type of thing, right? And so they wait, they watch me on camera. There's something weird done to my front wheel's thudding. So let's see, did they slash another tire? Because they slashed so many tires. Now that's why we video everything, because these people are kind of out and they're waiting. There's nothing. It looks like someone probably crammed something in the wheel, like they do. And they did it another time, I think I was parked there. They cram it in the wheel things by the discs. So I'm just gonna leave this recording because my tire's thudding, but it's not flat. There's a girl waiting for me. In the black and white. So the two Chargers, right? She's kind of looking at me, pretending she's just walking the dog, but it's all coordinated. The neighborhood, here's a second black and white, right? It's all coordinated. Like, we did this to the guy's car, watch him, try to get a reaction. Okay, now something's kind of thudding. They crammed something, and I can hear it as the tire's rotating. Sounds like someone threw a bottle or something under there and it got caught. Like, that's my guess. Okay, there's a black guy and a white Prius. Oh, he's picking up a girl. Okay, so something's... They got under the car and they put a bottle or something by the wheel or tire. They've done this before too. They've done it tons of times. Now here's the lady waiting for me. We're just gonna, hopefully there's a parking space right here. Right? It's... of the car, see what they've done. And make sure our battery and memory card. Okay, I don't see anything under the car, but the wheel's doing like a clunking. Now Greg Koenig was known for cramming things in the wheel before, but whatever's in here seems wedged in really good. Now we got some green and blacks coming out. Okay, so we have some of the green and blacks coming out. Looks like some more green and blacks. Okay, so notice the green and black here. And I think there's a jogger. Well, that's more of a blue and black. Okay, so whatever they've crammed in the wheel seems pretty... Usually whatever it is falls out. Now there's someone coming behind me working on some... Oh, they're parking in the spot the guy just left in a gray... it's a gray Honda. Okay, so... Right. Okay, it's less the more I drive showing. It seems like something was crammed in here, if that makes sense. Well, I'm not sure. Okay, now we got two cars backwards here. Right? Someone looks like they're waiting here in the, whatever you want to call it, the VW. Okay, so notice the two cars together backwards in pairs of twos. We have the two white Chargers. I'm not sure what's going on with the front end right now. I know they crammed something in the underneath because it was perfectly fine when I parked it, which was about a week ago, a little less. And all of a sudden you can feel when it's driving a clunk and a clunk and a clunk, and you can tell how they definitely jammed it in a spot where it's stuck. And they've done this before too, and then I drive and it starts doing that and then it goes away. Also around that corner there kept triggering the alarm over and over, so someone seems had the alarm frequency, or were what do I want to say? The alarm frequency, or were like bumping up against the car to set off the alarm and things like that, right? Okay, so anyways, clearly something's wedged, unless some of the linkage is loose. But I don't know. Unless someone got under and loosened some linkage, that's also possible. Let's kind of drive a little, which probably isn't the best idea, and see what happens. We also have a blue Explorer. Yesterday we had a white Explorer on the other side of the street. Okay, so okay. I mean, when I'm going slow like this, right now it's not doing it. But now it is when I slow down. Also remember the football thing, which is like some kind of threat message or something, right? Okay, it's doing it less now, which is interesting. But when I slow, okay, we also have another envoy thing, similar, right? I can tell something's wedged in here. Okay, so my guess is someone either got under the car loosening something, or they crammed something in a spot where you're gonna have to take it to a mechanic. But at certain speeds, like this is fine, but when I get really slow, it does it, and when I get fast, it doesn't. And that usually if it's not doing it fast, it means it's something wedged in there, because so, but how did the car go from perfectly normal like this? That's the question. Okay, it looks like they pulled up a red Camaro on this side. Or is that a Firebird? I can't tell, whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the other side where my other car's parked, see if they didn't make sure that car's okay. Okay, we have another CRV parking the groupings of CRVs. Okay, it looks like possibly another green and black dog walker here. Okay, here's my other car. The question is, did they do anything in the linkage or anything like that, right? Did they just did to my car here? I don't see any. There's a lot of scuffing over here, but I don't see any structural damage if they got under and did something freaky. Once again, a new CRV where they're parking twos, one across from each other on the CRVs. Right now, aside from whatever they did to my car, it doesn't seem too bad, but I expect it's going to get really bad later. I wasn't recording, and I don't know, lately this camera just been turning off by itself or something, or I'm pushing something, I don't know, when I'm not looking. So a girl just came out this gate, flower clothing, let's see, and she was by herself, so that looks fairly normal, black and blue and flower clothing. But usually there's huge groups of flower clothing together, so I'm just sort of something to look for. Okay, so I was saying that things have ramped down somewhat. There's still tons of cars and twos and them sabotaging my car, but the huge groups, the mass groups following me around right now seems fairly mellow, but I'm just noting the fire truck coming this way. But I have a feeling it's going to get really bad later, especially if Brittany doesn't flake with our conversations about what's being done to my life, which yeah, okay, so anyways, I'm gonna make sure I'm recording here. Yep. And right now it's not too bad. We're gonna go to Bobby's, get some food, and I have a feeling that the usual, people are gonna come in and harassing me and provoking me and trying to intimidate me. I believe it's owned by Persians. Can't really tell you what that means, other than that's just one of their thousands of tactics that I hate Persians and things like that, to make it look like I'm somehow making worldwide groups hunt me down and try to kill me for no reason. Okay, so so right now, like I said, it's mellow, and it's gonna ramp up, I'm pretty sure, like usual. And of course, as we leave, I just want to make sure this car, they haven't done anything to this car. We don't have direct proof that they did anything intentional to other car, but I mean, we got a shirt there for hidden messages. Okay, I noticed the car backwards. I think the other car is a no plater. Okay, so let's just... Okay, we gotta watch out for the Prius coming up fast on my left. Let's just loop around the street, because we know that they're clearly doing things to me on this street. Okay, first notice the black Mercedes and the groupings huge groupings of Mercedes. There's that shirt they put on the fire hydrant for me to see. They had the little Target bag. Groupings of Jeeps actually at similar colors, which may or may not be. Remember the other day I drove down the street here, tons of Jeeps, right? Okay, so here's the football shirt they put. Okay, so now we're gonna kind of want to see who's coming out. Okay, there's the guy that pulled behind me in the gray Accord. Also gray and black and white clothing is another thing to look for. This car, I don't hear anything crammed in the wheels or anything like that. That car is the same as this car, almost the same. We have three groupings of 3 red cars. Trying to get as close as possible there. Let's just let these people drive by. Let these people go in if they're going in. They're all going to work. And as we drive by, we're just going to kind of document how they're trying to get these 3 reds together in the groupings of reds. Oh, that's an Isuzu. It's not. I thought it was a GMC. Okay. Right now it doesn't look too bad, but you know, that'll change in a couple hours. Also, we're looking at the black and white dog walkers. Here's, it looks like another one. Black and white clothing, just like that lady. My car was right here, right by the fire hydrant with the football shirt on it. Very important, because that's one of their little scams, is that I somehow have a problem with football and football players, and I've done all these horrible things to people and whatever. It just goes from thing to thing. Okay, so remember we videoed all these Jeep Cherokees. There's 2 more, so there's 3 right there with a guy waiting with hazards on behind some of them. Surprisingly, it's about 8:10, not much traffic, which I'm surprised. Okay, we're passing by Rancho Road here. The last few times since they realized that they were caught in the act, there have been cars backwards. Today there's no cars backwards there. So that's 3 times in a row it's been normal since they were caught calling the police and with my lawyer on their murder systems, trying to set me up, and then getting caught because I went across the street to get massages and things like that, showing that they're going to call the cops no matter what, to try to rid me of the world, no matter how good of a person I am. So now we're going to go to the last one, because I'm meeting Brittany at Noah's Bagels, and we're going to see if the cops show up instantly like they did last time, to try to set me up or frame me or whatever, when I'm not even going to a Starbucks. That there should be no reason why they're telling me I'm not allowed to go to Starbucks or any coffee shop in the world, and any other place in the world for that matter, because this isn't really about coffee shops. They might say it's about coffee shops, but they're just trying to make their murder operations just look justified, because why wouldn't I be allowed at coffee shops is the original question. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of circle around, document the area. Okay, also notice the yellow Xterra, because that's one of the cars they use a lot. Okay, so this is the shopping center. We're gonna kind of try to be aware just get this guy's plates. I have a feeling he's going to go into Live a Great Story. There's a sticker on his car. I have a feeling he's going to go into this lot over here where I'm about to go into. We're kind of videoing around the area to look for police presence, and then we're going to drive into the lot quickly and see if the cops show up like last time, showing they're following me from place to place, and if I even come near a Starbucks or a coffee shop or whatever, there'll be cop presence to thug and harass and intimidate. Not without any actual crime being committed, just pre-crime, right? Like, we don't like you, so we're gonna follow you each and every place you go, and then say you did something and try to figure out ways to arrest me. Okay, now most of these cars over here are forward. There's usually cars waiting here. There's a black pickup backwards. There's another car kitty corner backwards. Okay, so we have a couple of cars there backwards. Okay, now we're gonna loop around and we're gonna just drive into the front and circle around. And because I'm meeting Brittany, it's 1:19. She says 1:45, and knowing her, it's 5 o'clock. I mean. But, so last time what I did was I looped around the parking lot, didn't park, and then left really quick within like a minute's time, and the cops instantly showed up. Okay, so I'm sort of videoing my surroundings. I haven't seen any police yet. Okay, we have the white Jeep Ranger that was backwards last week. Okay, so this is the Starbucks. We're just gonna do a little loop around, document the lot. Also, we gotta make sure there's shade here. There is, good. Okay, so in the lot, once again, black pickup trucks backwards, like all over Thousand Oaks. We got a Saturn. This guy must work here because it's always here and it's always marked backwards. We got 2 Priuses together, right? We got this white car. Notice how the guy is going to the car parked backwards when I arrive, right? That's also important. Okay, so example, that guy parked in backwards in case I arrive, and then okay, just noting the Jeep Cherokees, and then he goes to his car to like leave or move it or whatever. Okay, so okay, a couple more white, another white car backwards here. We're gonna loop around the backside here because remember last week we had a group of Jeeps, white Jeeps together. One lady there's a Jeep Cherokee. One lady waiting in a white Jeep Cherokee behind this white Jeep Ranger. Okay, we have a little higher rate of cars backwards out here. We have a person that looks like they're probably waiting for me asleep in this blue Porsche. More cars back here backwards. Let's just get this person because you know they're waiting for me. Now she's asleep. Okay, so now we're gonna go up here and kind of look over to see if the cops show up like we did last time, although because they're on video last time, they're probably not gonna come this time. And then we have the 2 cars. This guy looks like he's waiting in it backwards. And a truck backwards. 2 cars kitty corner together backwards in 2s. Just like at the Starbucks on 3366 Thousand Oaks, right? Okay, so now we cruise up here. And we're gonna just get a noticing the Black Ranger and the red Camaro are the ones that stand out. Okay, so now we just want to get kind of an overview and see if the police show up, security shows up, we will get video of them. This is the first sign of security presence over here. We did a quick drive-through. There's some security presence. Now we might see the police. He just walked back from this way where the 33 address is, down this way, and he walked out that way. So now he might call the cops, saying Kevin drove through the lot. Well, who would care, right? Unless you have something to hide or you're psychotic murderers or whatever. But we've seen them working with the police over and over to hunt down, stalk, torture, and kill me. And so we're just going to document this. And there's some guy pulling something over here, so we're gonna just pop the camera up here. Until we see like police presence or something like that. But it shows you how the security companies are working with the police and government to hunt me down. When you start seeing them come out in the open and start doing follow me around, especially for no reason, and then stalking and hunting me with the police and things like that. Right here. Okay, so this guy on the phone kind of wanted to be in front of my car.
Parking mode on.
If the police don't come now, they'll probably come by when I'm talking on camera with Brittany or something. Okay, black Jeep arriving. Black Jeep arriving, and also I just noticed this gray Civic kind of way off in the corner there, kind of in my view, if you understand what I'm getting at with that. Okay, now probably that black Jeep's gonna go try to find another Jeep Ranger to park next to. And remember, there's a white one here too, which I think right down here, so they might be doing the Jeep Rangers in twos, split across the lot like they did last time. Just a couple of red cars showing up. This one over here and another one driving by the stop sign. They're driving out. They just drove through. I'm gonna sort of note that we might see groups of red cars now show up. Okay, here comes another red car, so I'm just kind of noting if the lot goes from not many red cars to like 10, 20 red cars. I want that on video. Looks like a... no. Okay, this red car looks like he drove in the lot, looped around, now he's leaving. And I see a Jeep Cherokee. Looks like he's leaving. Can't tell you if he left, or it kind of looks like he changed spots. Can't really see from here. I think he changed spots. My guess is he's probably parked closer to another Jeep or Jeep Cherokee. He probably said, okay, there's a Jeep over here, so I'll move my car together in pairs of twos, like we have so much on video. Now there's a white Jeep Cherokee. It's leaving too. Right, or gray one over here. So the green one just parked somewhere, like he moved his car, and this white one or gray one looks like he's leaving, right? Okay, we have a blue Civic parking behind me. Can't tell you if it's just someone going to the bank here or not, but we'll see in a second, I'm sure. Tinted windows. Let's see if I can get a little of them on video. Probably, maybe through the mirror here, or like this. Maybe, I don't know if you can see them or not, or if I kind of get them through the mirror, you can't really see very well. It's just to let you know that, remember we're talking about the patterns of blues. And a big old van just parked here. Okay. So if the guy doesn't get out of his car in a few minutes, then we'll know that he's sort of pulling behind me to like spy on me or whatever. And also on that note, remember our last interview with Brittany here, the cops are on video showing up as we talk about the cops following me, which I'm sure they've seen because they try to get whatever they can to use against me. And so at the moment I don't see too much happening. Okay, so just to note, the guy in the blue car here is still, I think I hear his car running and he never got out, so you know he's kind of behind me spying on me, right? And then you have the blue person. The person was waiting in their Porsche here the whole time for me, kind of. You get the idea with the blue cars, right? As far as the cars backwards, not crazy like before. The patterns of twos not as bad as before, but all sorts of different things going on always. It's interesting. I see a O.J. Simpson green and brown Bronco parking backwards facing towards the Starbucks. Some of my older video at my house, people in gray O.J. Simpson Broncos doing U-turns when I come out of my house to take walks by me and things like that. Trying to hint about O.J. Simpson and things like that. Parking right in front of the Starbucks backwards. Last week there was a gold car parked backwards where he's parked. You get the idea. And I think there's probably groupings of gold cars in other areas backwards, strategically, people parking. So you get the idea. We have the O.J. Simpson hints, and that all comes from my family running around with these mass groups saying that I'm a violent paranoid schizo, and I think I'm O.J. Simpson and this and that. Just one of their fabrications that they've made up to try to justify hunting me and exterminating me. I sort of want to see where this guy will park if he parks by the other truck, but I don't think there's a spot.
have reached Brittany Henderson, licensed emergency service. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911 or go to your nearest local emergency room. If not, please leave your name, number, and a brief message, and I will return your call within 24 hours. Thank you. Have a good day. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hi, Brittany. Kevin. Just, I guess it's 1:45, so I was just seeing where you are. Call me or text me, and especially when you get to the parking lot, text me or call me. Talk to you soon. Bye. Okay, what's this? We got a yellow 16 Ventura County Fire Department, I think. Fire Department. Okay, we got the Fire Department. Interesting. Don't know what angle they're working. Okay, it's hard to see, but I'm looking and in a lot, and I think I see like a few more cars parked backwards. It's hard to really see from here. Okay, so this guy's parking backwards on video as I'm talking about that, and I see a black truck a little down that way. He looks backwards. His front lights just blinked, so he must be just parking. You get the idea, right? Now, if we see huge groups now start pulling backwards right after the fire department shows up, then you'll get the idea. I mean, I already know the fire department and police and everyone government level are involved in these murder operations, but you'll see it on video how government employees are told to hunt me down. All conspiring with worldwide support, the police and the government, started by my family somehow, to just have me exterminated at 5 years old. Doesn't really make much sense. Okay, I don't think the people in the fire truck here have gotten out of it either. Also, you notice the car that parked backwards just now? Parked backwards by the other car, right? So, he could have parked backwards anywhere in this lot, but he chose to park next to the other car backwards. Showing, like all my other video, the cars migrating in patterns of twos worldwide, or parking next to each other in either backwards in twos or the same cars in twos, the same colors in twos, twos or threes, or sometimes even larger groups. All directed at me in case I leave my house or go somewhere to try to create mental illness, torture, and kill. Now, looking back, the blue Civic behind me, the person actually got out of the car and I guess went into the bank or something. Oh, the Bronco is now leaving. I don't know if I got him on video just now. The green Bronco that parked backwards, pointed at the Starbucks, just left. I was sort of grabbing my camera, but the strap hooked on the shifter, so I don't know if I got him leaving just now, but... Okay, I think a blue pickup is coming in and a blue Mini Cooper, and there was another light blue Mini Cooper that pulled up. He's right there. It's just kind of... Okay, there's a black. Can't see what I think this is the blue pickup. No, I can't tell if this is the same one or different one. I think this is the same one. Okay, so this blue pickup, what's he doing? It looks like he's parking backwards, right? So it looks like we now have two pickups that have pulled in parked backwards. And then I think there's a third one as I drove through earlier. So 3. So, okay, so those two pickups, I think the one on the far end is a pickup, have come in after, and they're both backwards. It kind of pairs of twos, but I think there's a third one on the other side backwards as well. But you get the idea. They're obviously doing it intentional. Directed at me. See, it's 1:55. Have not heard from Brittany. Okay, our fireman guy has gotten out of the car. Okay, just more blue vehicles coming in, possibly something, possibly not, just noting it. Okay, now our fire truck guy went in. Looks like he got some coffee. Also note the color of the car. So like, for example, we see like 20 yellow cars show up after the fire Ventura County firemen. You'll understand the types of ways that these people take part directed at me. So he might park in front of me to try to create a trigger mechanism that makes you sort of a little more hypersensitive or aware, and then maybe 20 yellow cars show up after, right? To give you an example of the things that I'm sort of explaining. And these types of things happen all day and night, 24/7. The question is, where's Brittany? It's almost 2 o'clock. We had a 1:30. It's almost 2. She said 1:45. But that's Brittany. That's okay. So okay, well, I see a police car down there, but he's not pulling in here, I don't think. But I just kind of want to document the police driving by. Now, I just got off the phone with Brittany, saying she's on her way here. He's not turning into the lot, I don't think. Looks like he's hanging a left off. I don't know what this main road is. I'm just gonna set this here in case he does something and comes in the lot or something like that, or one of his buddies comes in the lot or something, because they tend to track my cell phone and texts and all those things. Okay, he's going straight down whatever this road is. And you can kind of see the two cars a little better grouped backwards, directed at me in the parking lot. Okay, so I guess I'll stop recording until something happens. Okay, we have a yellow thing driving in the lot. He parked right here. It's probably really hard to see. You can just see the beige top or whatever, kind of by the stop sign, across from the stop sign. Our first yellow car. Now that might be coincidence. I haven't seen a thing in like 15 years. Now it's just one yellow car, which is a very rare car. But like I said before, if we see groups of yellows, I'll get that on video. But one is not really enough to
Manual recording on.
one is not enough to really prove anything, or even if this is just a coincidence. I can't tell you for sure. So if we see more yellow cars, or when he leaves, we'll kind of get him on video. Okay, one of the cars left, so you can kind of see some of the yellow of the old thing. Just wanted to try to get some of him on video. Okay, we heard our first person honk the alarm horn twice. I believe it's the lady walking in front of us here. I don't know what car she's going to. This GMC looking thing. A couple of red cars just pulled in. I was just on the phone with Brittany. She's on her way here after locking herself out of the office. Two red pickups just pulled in the lot within minutes. One just did a loop around, is leaving, and one is this guy getting out with his ass to the car. Then there was a third red car. I think he's parked over there somewhere. Okay, I got a text from Brittany. About to pull in. Got lost, about to pull in. Let me call her.
You have reached Brittany Henderson, licensed marriage and family therapist. If this is an emergency, please hang up to dial 911 or go to your nearest local emergency room. If not, please leave your name, number, and a brief message, and I will return your call within 24 hours. Thank you. Have a good day. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hi, Brittany. Just got your text that you're kind of lost or something. So I guess call me or text me when you get here in the lot. I'll talk to you in a few. Okay, we now have security guard. He's wandering this way. I don't know if you can see him on camera. Where is he? You can kind of see the head. You can see his head right here. He's walking in front of my car down below. Interesting timing because Brittany states a couple minutes ago I got lost. But I'm almost here. Now, there's always this thing about, you know, if they're, I don't know what he's doing, but if they're getting, they've always for years been getting my texts and phone calls and they use it against me. So you could understand how she could say that through a text or on the phone, and instantly security guards follow me around. I can't tell you if for sure if that's the case right now. I'm just stating that she's about to be here, but she's not here yet. And I'm kind of waiting for her to get to the lot just so there's witnesses with everything. Okay, now he's going back the other way. He's kind of behind the thing. Right, so it's like he wanted to walk in front of me right after she texted. Right, if you get the idea. Now, I don't know why he's checking something on the light pole. But, Okay, he's walking. He walked towards the Starbucks. Now he's walking the other way, or pass through the lot. While it might be coincidence, there's been some kind of authoritative presence during each contact, whether it be a text or a phone call. Hello.
Hi. Sorry, I was on the line down here.
Oh, okay, where are you?
At a table.
Oh.
Of Noah's.
Okay, make sure it's a shady one. I'll be right there.
It is, and it's the same one as we were at last time, but I think we got better umbrellas.
Okay, good. I'll be there in a second.
Okay.
All right.
I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so I'm headed down there. It's interesting, the security guard walked towards her right after she texted me, right? Or, yeah, she texted me, I'm almost here, whatever. Security guard walks in front of me and then towards her, right? Also noticed kind of a ramp up of red cars around here. This one's parked in no man's land. Okay, so let's quickly, you can't see the other two over here. Okay, so we're just pulling right down here. And I want to point out, there's Brittany, she's found a table. Okay, notice the cars over here. Two black cars backwards. One's actually a blue pickup. And there's our black Jeep Ranger. Okay, here is the second backwards pickup, which is leaving over here, right? So two pickups backwards. And since I'm not going to be able to get a good camera view, a good spot with a camera view, I'll park way back here. There is kind of an undercover cop-ish looking car over there, but I'm pretty sure it's not a cop. Okay, but most importantly, the timing of the, okay, and a gray Eclipse. I have my other car's a black Eclipse. A gray Eclipse just pulled up. I'll get him in a second. He's coming out here, black and blue. Over there, I'll point it out in a second. And just getting all my things ready. Okay. My hat. Jeez Louise. Okay, it looks like both trucks left at the same time, the backwards trucks. Okay, here's our blue Eclipse Spider, which is a mimic of my other car. And the black car with the American flag here is a very coppish, undercover looking type of Lincoln, but I'm pretty sure it's not a cop car. Okay, so most importantly, we saw the security guard cruise by. 2 pickups left at the same time as I arrived. The black one's parked backwards, or the blue and black one parked backwards. Hi. Hello. Brittany, punctuality on fleek.
I'm the fucking worst.
Oh.
My mom says I love
I've
it.
seen this one.
Oh, the kitten. Did you put that in there?
Oh yeah, I did.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, you know the drill. We're gonna do the same.
You want me to put it in there?
Yeah, we need placeholders.
Right?
Okay. All right.
Jeremy said he was not a master rower or a so he overstayed his call.
Your hair is different. It's purple. I need to put my bunny poster up there. Anybody want
Red or Jessica? You get on ranch. Get on ranch. Yes, I have to get on
Yeah, it smells like always. Small, I only made $1. For how many chips? Like,
That's gonna be $9.98.
okay, happy. No, at my self-serve shop, like, I make at least $5.
Here's your card
a day, and I don't even
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, you? I see you got a jam.
Yeah, 1 second.
always really busy.
Large orange dream with energy.
I just want to try not to depend on it so I can just...
Kevin. Gotta know that.
How's your day been so far, Kevin?
Slow, I've been slow on it today. And I just...
I feel ya.
Hi, how are you? I really, like, it's been a while.
Okay, this is a sound test. So what did you see?
How's your day going today, Kevin?
What?
How's your day so far, Kevin?
Good. Why you?
And then, no, that's what she said.
Oh.
And then,
actually-
what's your name? Kevin.
Yeah, and I said you gotta know my name or something.
Right. And then the cards.
Though everything was fairly normal, except I think, except the everyone was, all the employees were saying have a good one over and
I
over.
heard that, yeah.
Especially the guy serving the drinks, but he didn't say it to me. Right. And by the way, the girls just made fun of you.
Which girl?
The friends of the Jamba employee, which are just walking out right before you walked out.
What'd they say?
As she walked right behind me here, she like yelled, "Ah, a bee!"
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking ass.
Anyways, we can turn. Yeah, so
I think they got new umbrellas, didn't they?
it looks different.
I mean,
They're
these tables look
interestingly
different.
striped.
Right. More coverage for
Very
sure.
poltergeist striped.
Do you want me to? Are you done with your Jamba? You still drinking it?
No, I'm still drinking it. Except for it's warm.
Is it? Yeah. I wonder if they let you put some ice in it.
No, that's okay. Okay.
Where did you find parking at? Over
I'm
here?
just over there.
It's on shade actually today. I'm shocked.
You
Save your
found.
parking spot.
Oh. Yeah, we're gonna hate when you get in your car and it's like 100 million.
When I burn my. Is your car leather on the inside?
Not this one.
The Eclipse?
Eclipse, I think it's like fake leather. It gets
Oh,
freaking
leather.
hot, man. It's
I
like
know, I burned it.
so hot. But then you put the top down. Yeah, that is great.
This is better. Yeah. It's a convertible, right? Completely? Yeah. I used to want an Eclipse so bad. I used to love that car.
I love the body style. You know, for a little
too.
cheap car, it's great.
It's awesome.
Okay, wait, we have a Terrence Scroggins look-alike car with the American flag, except Terrence is green, the Miata.
The little red one?
Yeah. And Terrence Scroggins has the flag on his antenna. Is this you?
Yeah. Nice. Very clean car.
Yeah, look at this.
What?
Wait.
It's so dirty. I'm gonna drive. Oh. Alright, much better than what I thought. I was expecting like a big
dick or
dick.
something.
Yeah. Seen it before. So.
Alright,
We'll
so
try to get some rest.
yeah, get your thingy and
Yeah, thank you. And I'll see you Friday?
okay, yes.
Okay.
For sure?
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
100%.
Bye. Okay, so as we're leaving, let's document the lot. We did not have police presence, probably for the first time. We did have Allied Security. And I don't even think that Allied Security is the normal security company around here. From previous interactions, watching all the security companies and people following me around. But Allied Security, okay, so I'm noticing red cars come in. That red car parks next to this red car. And another red car is also coming in at the same time. Let's see. Okay, I wasn't paying attention because I was dealing with my electronics while I'm leaving. Okay, so we're gonna pull out, we're gonna loop around. Okay, here he is. Here's the next guy. So they just came together. He's an Echo. Okay. I want to document the cars that are showing up and are already here that I've been doing in patterns that you can see. The red car is obvious, the groupings of the two red cars that just pulled in with the guy in the black and blue clothing. I believe the orange and black, wait, is that an Explorer? So groupings of Explorers looks like they showed up. Okay, there's a white Explorer here, there's a orange Explorer here, and there's a black Explorer behind me. Let me just... Ooh. Okay, there's a white Explorer, there's a black Explorer there. Now remember, this morning I was pointing out the Explorers. At my house, the blue Explorer, and then the other day a white one on the other side, one on Owen's Mouth and one on Juliana, ramping up the Explorers. And now you're seeing how Explorers are parking by my house, right? Okay, so we've seen Allied Security, we've seen the horizontal shirts. There is a yellow shirt here, but just one with the yellow thing, so not enough to prove anything. I just want to see what cars we have. There's this GMC, which is similar to the car I'm in now. We had a gray Eclipse show up at the same time I arrived. Any more Explorers? 1, 2, and a black one. And that's it. And then we have some red cars showing up. This is the blue Mini Cooper from before. It's not too bad. Most of the cars here are forward at the moment. Most of the people left, the stalkers. Now let's just do this side of the lot in case we have more Explorers, or just note the Jeep Cherokee there. The two white trucks over here. So now notice the groupings of backwards cars. The white truck, a forward white truck, a backwards white truck, the backwards Jeep, a backwards person waiting here for me, right? This lady in the red car kind of waiting for me over there, and the two cars over here together in patterns of twos. Okay, so this guy is clearly waiting over here. Okay, now I was up here. Remember, I was up on this little ridge watching what was going on. We didn't have any cop presence. We do, however, have this people working with the security company, but he's buried his head down because he knows that he can't scare me. And then earlier we had the two cars over here, kitty corner, backwards. Okay, so now usually there's cars here backwards. I see one over there backwards, but okay, so that's it. So no cop presence since we got the cops the last time on video, which is good. I'm just noticing the 111 shirt on this guy. Okay, we're going out to the car to go get some food. I think Panda Express, and then coming back. I'm sure everyone who's watching these, as tedious as it is, knows the drill. Well, what time is it? Hold on a sec. It's 8:12 p.m. And we're gonna see probably cars come out and probably people doing hidden messages and things like that on the way. The usual that's been going on for 20 years here alone. Okay, so remember the other day Dave crammed something in the wheel over here, and then right as we come out by the fire hydrant, cramming things in the wheel to cover up my brother's crime spree. Now notice, remember yesterday there was a car here backwards. Now there's a truck backwards over here, right? And everything else is forwards, showing that they're trying to provoke me as I walk by the gate out of my house. Right. Okay, so everything else is forwards. And then we have a black truck here backwards, and there was a car here backwards. Remember, that car was black too, and the groupings of cars by the fire hydrant last night all pulled up black, with the black girl pulling out from the Met and wanting to park where I parked in front of me and walk out of her car in hopes she could get a reaction. Right? Other things in the last month, they put a bag of carrots on the ground, which my mother used to give me carrots in a bag with vinegar in middle school, like an A rice. Things like that to try, I believe, to try to trigger me into reactions. Oh, hello? And so, you get the idea. Interesting that there's a cop car right here where I'm walking out. Ooh, better quickly change my battery. Okay, not a good time to have to change my battery because we see cop cars coming out of my house. Are they here to document what's going on in the street? I highly doubt it. I think they're intimidation tactics from the cops, kind of waiting by my gate. Because why aren't they waiting by this guy's gate or that guy's gate or whatever, right? Okay, so let's be prepared for something strange from them to happen. Okay, right now, these two cars are forwards. All three are forwards. The cars in there, which you can't see from here, are all forwards by the gate. I have a feeling some of these are backwards right here. There's a no plater in the corner there. Okay. So we will keep everything rolling because even though the cops were waiting for me, the cops are waiting for, I should say, by my gates. Okay, let's fire everything up. The cops are waiting for... They chose to pick the spot by my gate. And let's get this DVR recording. And so that's kind of important out of like the location. Okay, so wait. So now, okay, look. So this guy instantly pulls up. He's pulling backwards. Okay, so they do this a lot. There's cop presence. We're watching you. Then comes the groups of people. We're gonna provoke you and try to trigger you now that we've scared you. And this happens over and over and over and things like that, right? So now, what normally happens when we see police presence like that is the attacks. Ooh, I think it was already on. Oh, it shouldn't matter. The attacks get greater because there's police presence. Does that make sense? So normally what happens is the police show up and people go, fuck, you know, the police are involved. So we all need to behave and stop hunting down trying to kill Kevin People or Kevin Perlman, right? Now, just to note, the lights are on in his car. Like, they haven't just parked. They parked, looks like he's parking, leaving the lights on. Okay, so while everything looks right now on the street fairly normal, and the cops for some reason chose to wait by my gate, which is interesting, if they're on my side, then how come they verbally haven't admitted to the situation, saying, Kevin, we know what's going on, and we're on your side, and we're going to do whatever it takes to put a stop, not arrest me and tell me I don't talk and things like that, right? Okay, so okay, so his lights went off. That was the lights on the timer, but he did show up. Interesting timing. He did show up parking backwards. So now when we leave, the question is, if the cops have instantly left, then they're probably here to sort of intimidate me. Does that make sense? Now we have the cars coming out. My windows are tinted and it's dark, so I can't really see very well. What's coming, what's going. Civic's going in. A Honda's coming out. A Honda Altima. They use the Altimas a lot. This person's coming out of the office complex here, which is like a Time Warner complex. Okay, now also I just want to note, you notice even though I now have a new taste of resentment towards the judicial system who's been hunting me for 42 years, now that I understand what's going on, you will notice that I was extremely nice to the cop. I said hello and didn't say anything, didn't bark at him, didn't do this, didn't do that. Which is how most people normally are. If you're a boss at a company or an employee at a company, you don't sit there attacking people at the company because you don't like them. You stay professional and mind your own business and do your job. Okay, so now remember, we've had someone screw up the linkage in my car, and now the cops are out kind of waiting by my gate. Are they going to try to cover it up? Okay, that's important, right? Because if I've gone to them for 7 tire slashings and every one they basically said I'm imagining it, you get the idea.